Hey everyone, today's video is a fun little speed painting I did from imagination. Now I have two very simple goals in mind with this one. I want to start painting more from imagination in general, and I really want to start learning how to use the mixer brush more effectively. Very achievable goals that basically boil down to remaining proactive, which of course is its own challenge. I realize my videos tend to be me working from imagination anyways, but what can I say? That's a goal I set for myself this year. Just to be clear, I think you should definitely always use references as much as you possibly can though. I just have this romantic idea of whipping up amazing paintings on the fly. Watching someone like Craig Mullins paint will do that to you. I really had absolutely no idea what I was going to paint, so I start by immediately getting some paint down onto canvas. A quick sky and basic terrain are a perfect opportunity to play with different brushes and see how they perform as a mixer brush. I mostly have it set to sample an area rather than a single color, as I really enjoy the noise and artifacts it can produce. I've always found this really hard to control though, so I have very little actual practice with utilizing the tool this way. The brush wetness is also left at 0 for most of this painting as well. As I'm building up this painting, I think, alright, let's get a janky pier or walkway leading into a transport or something. The funny thing is, while I want the structure to look like it's roughly thrown together, I ended up painting it so embarrassingly crooked that I stopped to think, wow, I've been doing this for nearly a decade now. Always fun thoughts to have. In all seriousness though, I do struggle with visualizing a scene when I'm working straight into paint without a sketch or even an idea. So much so that I tend to make the silliest mistakes that I either have to fix later on, or in the case of a speed painting like this, just kind of roll with it and try making it work. But really, that's also why I do exercises like this in the first place. I know I'm weak at several of these skills and techniques that I'm trying to utilize here, but that's also the point, right? Can't improve if you're not constantly pushing yourself out of your comfort zone and up against your limits. So I ended up going with the typical fantasy airship Zeppelin kind of transport, and now it's just about pushing it as far as I can within my time limit. This means giving it a unique silhouette, adding more detail and interest to the overall design, so it acts as the main focal point, and generally bringing it up to a tighter finish than the rest of the painting. I always try my best to accomplish this in a speed paint, since it's unlikely you'll be able to achieve a high fidelity render in such a short time. At least, it's unlikely for me. You'll notice that for the majority of this painting, I'm working very zoomed out. The actual canvas size on my screen is not very big at all. I know the video is zooming in, but really, I don't zoom into any section of this piece until the very end. It's even smaller when you consider I'm actually working on my small Wacom Intuos and a basic monitor. The reason for this is to keep myself focused on the entire picture and to only paint what matters. Big brushes, large shapes, and most importantly, the overall readability are always going to be more important than zooming in and painting the threads on a piece of rope, for example. I try to work this way all the time, regardless if it's a speed painting or not, but in the case of working fast like this, you do not have time to zoom in and worry about details that don't contribute to the overall readability of the image. I find this to be the best reason to practice speed painting in the first place. They're a fun way to challenge your creativity and brush economy. Every single brushstroke needs to be meaningful, otherwise it's just a waste of valuable time. main component of the painting nearly finished, it's time to quickly tighten up the rest of it. I clean up the pier, add a few structures, some smaller details like rope guards, and finally some very rough, human-ish silhouettes. I try to finish these kinds of paintings in under 2 hours max, preferably 1, but sometimes they're just not working out and a bit more time is needed, like this one. Don't get me wrong, I'd have no problem committing a long 40 hours to a painting if it's showing potential, or, I planned it out first. But something like this that just barely avoided being scrapped altogether is very much a, let's see how good I can get this to look in 2 hours kind of situation. Then it's on to the next piece. Also, just for the record, I personally think 3 hours is about as far as you can go and still call something a speed painting. That's just silly artist semantics though. That about wraps this one up. I hope you all enjoyed it. Please like, share, and subscribe if you did. Also, let me know in the comments if you like seeing this kind of work, because I'm feeling it right now, and have much more of this stuff in me. If nothing else, I enjoy rambling on about how or why I do things. It forces me to study myself in a different lens and document my growth. Anyways, that's all I have today. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the next one.